Hello, I'm Father Sean Carey. Welcome to Persevere with Christ. This is our 15th episode. We have with us here today another deaf Catholic young adult named Kyle Murphy. He went to World Youth Day in Spain back in 2011, right? Which was, oh my gosh, like 10 years ago? Yeah, almost 10 years ago. Wow. Happy to have you with us here today, Kyle. So please go ahead and share with us the readings and reflections for today. Kyle. Sure, happy to do that. This reading is taken from the Gospel of John, and this is taking place after Jesus' resurrection. Peter turned and saw the disciple following whom Jesus loved, the one who had also reclined upon his chest during the supper, and had said, "Master, who is the one who will betray you?" When Peter saw him, he said to Jesus, "Lord, what about him?" Jesus said to him, "What if I want him to remain until I come? What concern is it of yours? You follow me." So the word spread among the brothers that disciple would not die. But Jesus had not told him that he would not die. Just, what if I want him to remain until I come? What concern is it of yours? It is this disciple who testifies to these things and has written them, and we know that his testimony is true. There are also many other things that Jesus did, but if these were to be described individually, I do not think the whole world would contain the books that would be written. So now some reflections. When Peter asked Jesus, "What about him?" he was talking about Judas, the one who had betrayed Jesus, and asking if he was going to die or have life in him. Jesus was trying to teach his disciples in this moment to not worry about those things, to not be concerned about the future, but just simply to follow him. Jesus taught his followers, don't look to the past and don't look to the future, but keep your faith intact and alive, and focus on the present. What concern is it of yours? I didn't say. It's up to me to decide. It's not up to you. Jesus knew that he would either give life or death to a person such as Judas, but it wasn't up to his disciples to worry about that. It wasn't their job. Jesus said, "I have chosen you. You are my servants. Follow me." So he was trying to drive home that message and emphasize with them, remain with me, stay with me, and follow me. And if you choose to follow me, I will be with you on your journey. And it's easy for us to imagine this in our daily lives too. If I choose to follow God, then I have the power of God to be a servant and to follow him. Even though I don't know what will happen next, I don't know what's going to happen at the end of my life, but I can focus on today and I can serve God. If I keep worrying about the what ifs of life, what's going to happen? When will I die? What happens after that? That's not going to give me life. It's not going to be a good thing. So instead, I need to focus on the next step of my journey. And that's my reflection on what this scripture means, what this gospel means. When Jesus said, "Remain until I come," he wants us to trust that he is coming. He will come again. And in the meantime, we need to have trust and faith in God. That's so important. That's the key to our lives, is having that faith in Jesus and that trust and following him. Even as we are tested, Jesus wants our faith to be strong. He wants to know that we're going to stay with him, and he does give us that choice to remain with him or not. So it is so important to follow him. That's my reflection and my point of view, is that, it can be a really stressful time. We can worry and think about the future, but we don't know what's going to happen. So why worry about it? We just need to focus on God and take things one step at a time, one day at a time, in the present, in order to build up that trust for our faith journey. So those are my thoughts. Father Sean. Kyle, thank you for sharing with us. And do you mind if I ask you a follow-up question? I was just, thinking about how much this reading applies to our lives today in this time of COVID-19. People are really worried about what's going to happen in the future, especially in regards to the economy and their lives. It's clearly a very stressful time for many people. But you make a good point. If we know that Jesus is in control and we follow him and he's with us every step of the way, we should be okay. Suppose a person is walking with Jesus in their lives and then they face a difficulty such as the loss of a job or food scarcity or economic uncertainty. How would you respond to that, Kyle? Kyle. Yeah, well, I have experienced that, not in the time of coronavirus, but I have experienced the loss of a job prior to that, and it was very frustrating. So, how did I overcome that? How did I get through that? Even though I felt like I lost everything, I still was a disciple of Jesus, and I still followed him and focused on the next step and building my trust in God, even though I felt like I did lose everything. I just kept going. Because if we lose our faith in Jesus, then our lives will descend into chaos. So instead, I held on to Jesus and I used this time to grow my faith. Even though I lost my job, it wasn't necessarily a bad thing because it was a good experience. It gave me the opportunity to grow my faith in that moment of my life and to work on improving myself and to follow Jesus more closely in my everyday life. And it's the same thing now with the whole coronavirus pandemic. It is a challenging time, and I know it is frustrating for people who lose their jobs, and I feel the same way because I've had that experience before in my life. It is tough when you're looking for money and you're trying to figure out how to make ends meet. But the same advice applies. Don't worry about the future. Focus on today. Take it one day at a time. That is the way to grow your faith, and that is the way to have life on this journey. If you focus on the future too much, it will destroy you. If you become obsessed with these details, you will overlook the opportunity for growth that this day gives. That's why it's so important to take it one step at a time. Life is a roller coaster. It's filled with ups and downs. There's good days, there's great days, and everything in between. There's bad days. And we just don't know what's going to happen. So we need to focus on the present and the everyday, and Jesus will be with us. Father Sean, that's true. So you mentioned that when you lost your job before, you tried to take things one step at a time. And I'm wondering, did you find that experience easy to do or challenging? I think many people would find it hard to take things one day at a time. Do you have any advice to give to someone who might be in that situation? Kyle. Yeah, it was really tough. But my advice would be don't give up and keep your faith. If you have a strong faith, God will give you help through the power of the Holy Spirit. He will be with you. Life is always challenging. And it's just like we read about in the book of Job from the Bible. Job lost everything. He continued to lose everything. And the same message applies from
Mm.
that book. I felt that way in my life. I've gone through many things. And with my faith, I was able to continue to walk with Jesus every day, every step of the way. And He has given me life from it. He's given me hope. So I definitely feel like that applies to my life. And I understand that. And that's why now I, try to share and tell people who are struggling, who do find it tough, have hope, keep going. We don't know what's going to happen, if the difficulty will last a long time or not, but God will give us the way through. And if we are patient with Him, and if we are humble and we are not prideful, then we can continue to live our values of service to the world and serving God and others. And that's such an important part. That's something that I learned from the book of Job, that it's important to keep going and keep serving others. I think it applies to anyone's life who's experiencing that loss. If you're going through whatever you're going through, good times or bad, God is with you. Stay strong in the faith. Father Sean. Right. So with Christ, you found the strength to persevere one day at a time. People need to remember that, we should be thankful for everything every day, because we don't know what's going to happen even overnight. I had this awful experience recently of my friend passing away. And that experience really taught me that tomorrow is not promised. We should cherish what we have today. Go with God. And, every day is a gift, right? Kyle. Yeah, every day is a gift. In the morning, you should feel blessed and give thanks that you're still here and you're still able to continue on your earthen journey and serve others and do the best you can. Try to improve yourself and try to work on your relationship with Jesus and following Him, because He's the way. So you need to continue to improve yourself and work on your inner conversion as a discipline. And then your faith will grow. You'll become more wise and you'll have more to share with other people. You'll be able to work in community with others and teach them from your experiences about what you've learned and spread the word of God. We should cherish our time with each other and each other's own experiences, because we can learn from it and spread our faith and become a stronger Christian body. We should never stop trying to do that. Father Sean. Right. I know you and I both like to go to the gym and work out. And I think some people think, oh, if I go a few times, it'll be great. But that doesn't give you any benefit. You have to keep going. That's the benefit of working out. It's the same idea with our faith journey. Well, thank you, Kyle, for your time and for sharing your reflections with us. I really appreciate you talking with us. And I will see you in the next episode, whenever that is. So thank you so much for joining us. Kyle, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. God bless. Bye-bye.